Hey guys, this is Al again. I'm back at the shop. I'm going to be releasing two videos this weekend because I'm going to be working on the Cadillac and I'm going to be showing the new car purchase that I bought. Had no intention of buying a car this year, but you know how it goes, right? There was one, it was local, probably would have saved me $2,000 in shipping charges if I bought it anywhere else, and it was a good deal, and it was a car that I always wanted, so we'll do a video on that later on. Anyway, so where I left the Cadillac the last time is that, you know, it's running pretty well, but it's dieseling when it's hot. There could be a couple of reasons why that's happening. One of them could be ignition timing. The other one could be the idle being set too high, and then the last one is that the carburetor is basically not set up right. And as a result, you know, these quadrajet carburetors have a very small float ball, and the fuel is either boiling over or the float is stuck, and that could be causing it. So, you know, I wanted to give the carburetor a chance and see, you know, if I could make sure that the issue is not the carburetor before I send it out. Otherwise, I'm just going to send it back because I have a 30-day return, and I can return it within 30 days if I don't like it. But I wanted to give it another chance. You know, I hate returning things if I'm not sure it's the fault of the product. So, you know, I've been looking at a few videos on how to set up these carburetors. I'm not really a carburetor guy. Some of you guys have responded and posted comments which have been really, really useful. So I really do appreciate that. Particularly the one about the rubber hose. I didn't even know that there was a steel line that will go from the fuel pump to the carburetor itself. The hose that I am using is a fuel injected rated hose. It's obviously brand new because I replaced what I removed with fuel injected hose clamps. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if it's more of a fire hazard than a steel line would be, absolutely. So I've been looking at some YouTube videos trying to learn about quadrajets. I came across this video from a gentleman named Uncle Tony. I should really call him Brother Tony because he's probably closer to my age than an uncle would be. But he gave some really good insights on how to tune carburetors. So, and I've seen some other videos. That's how I figured out how to use a vacuum gauge. What he suggests is basically dial the screws in all the way in. You know, screw them all the way in, which is to the right. That leans out the mixture, and then back them out, turn and a half. And that should be your reference point. So that I just literally did that right now. I'm going to get the car going. I also bent the choke line so that the primaries are closed when the engine's cold, and it should open them up when the engine warms up. So I did that as well. And I'm going to start it, and I'll probably have to keep my foot on the gas to let it warm up, because that's what I had to do the last time, otherwise it'll die out. But that could be a choke issue, so, and the choke is divorced, so it's not part of the carburetor, so I can't really blame the carburetor for that reason. But I'm going to try that, and then I'm going to try to dial it in with a vacuum gauge and see if I can get it running just right. I think it was real close, but the idle was just a little bit not smooth, and I'm not sure exactly why. It could be because the carburetors were out of balance. You know, the two mixture screws. I had one that I think I turned around 3 turns one way, and the other one I had to turn around 4 or 5 turns. So that could be the reason why. But anyway, we're going to figure it out today and decide if this carburetor stays or it goes. So let me get the car started, and we'll see if we can tune it. So I drove all the way up here, and I realized I picked up the wrong keys. This is what old people do. I picked up the wrong keys. I got to the shop. It's an hour's drive from my house, and I picked up the wrong keys. So I called the kid. He's out of town, but he said, you know, he told me how, you know, where his keys were and everything else like that. So I stopped by his place, and I spoke to his missus, and she let me grab my spare set of keys that I leave with him. So that would have been a disaster anyway. Long story. so you can hear it doesn't want to maintain an idle. Alright, as I'm going to make 2 videos, I'm going to turn the camera off for now, get it to idle where it's warm, and then I'll turn it back on and let you guys take a look. I just have to conserve energy because this camera is pretty old and the battery doesn't last as long as it should. So let me just turn it off, I'll warm the car up and then I'll turn it back on. Alright, so what I did is bend the choke. Let me show you first.
Yeah, so like I said, this car's got a divorce choke, so there's a steel rod that goes from the temperature, it's a bimetallic strip that basically sits on the intake manifold, and you need to bend it to a position where when it's cold, the primaries are closed, right? So that's basically what I did right there.
Alright guys, so you tell me what you heard, right? You could see it's still doing a little bit of dieseling, and then that hiss sound, you know, sounds like it's blowing fuel out the carburetor, and that's why it's making that sound. It may still be the choke because the choke wasn't fully opened, you know, it wasn't even though the car had got fully warmed up, I bet the choke cable, the one that goes from the temperature sensor to the choke all the way down, so that the primaries were closed when you start the car, which is the way it's supposed to be. But when it opens, it's supposed to open this thing up to where when it's fully warmed, it sits straight up, and it's not doing that. It's still sitting a little bit closed, which could be why it's running rich, right? Which really has nothing to do with the carburetor, because it's not the carburetor's fault. You know, that it's not sitting the way it is that way. It's really the way that the choke moves that lever. Alright guys, so I need to get some gas for the lawnmower because it's that season where I need to cut the grass. So I figured this would be a good time to take it for a quick spin, let you guys hear how it's behaving. I think I still need to mess with the idle a little bit. In gear it's a little bit too low at idle, but it drives really well. Like, it feels like it's got a lot more power than before. So hopefully we'll make it. It's not in town, so I can't give a tow, but I do have AAA. I think I still need to richen the mixture a little bit. I think the mixture's still too lean. Alright guys, so I'm back on the road again. What I basically did is just dialed up the idle a tiny bit, because obviously in gear it wasn't idling very well. And when I set the idle, I set it in neutral. You're supposed to set it in gear. And then I also richened the mixture by half a turn on both adjustments. So I already feel like it's more responsive. I may need to do it a little bit more, but I already feel it's a little bit more responsive. So yeah, let's get it on the highway and see what it does. Feels stronger, but I don't hear the secondaries opening up, and that may have something to do with where the choke is set. Alright guys, so the choke was already disconnected, so I guess when the bimetallic strip pulled back, it loosened. It came, you know, the little steel rod came off the carburetor. So all I did was lean out, which is turn the adjustment screws for the mixture half a turn, counterclockwise, which is to richen out the mixture, not to lean it. It's clockwise to lean it, counterclockwise to richen it. Now it's fogging. So it feels like it's got good power, but it's not wanting to basically accelerate hard. So when it goes into kick down, it wants to choke in its arse. Maybe the secondaries aren't opening up. Maybe the vacuum advance is not working. We'll wait till we get it on the highway and we'll see. But it's got great power right now. We're on the on-ramp. Good place where I can do hard acceleration. Yeah, see that? That's not working. Pretty nice, actually. Alright, try again. Getting close.